A lot of important words in Spanish have something in common. Words like año, mañana, riñón, uña, diseñar, señal, etc. all have the ñ. A lot of these words you will be hearing almost every day because they're just very common words. And the ñ is a common letter in Spanish. The ñ is sort of a symbol of Spain and of Spanish. The word España has an ñ in it. The word español also has the ñ. And it's something that is kind of a unique Spanish thing. I don't know if there are other languages that use an ñ. The sound is not that hard in any case. It's just like the ñ sound in canyon or onion. But there are a lot of words in Spanish that have the ñ, and we should take a look at them. So, let's go. Hello everybody, welcome back to my sofa in beautiful Barcelona. I am Daniel and this is Learn Spanish with Daniel. Let's talk about the ñ. First off, what is an ñ? Well, it's the N with the little smaller N on top of it. The symbol on top of the ñ is called a tilde or a biguilla. Tilde or biguilla. I have heard a couple of people in my life call it a biguilla. Normally tilde works. These days you can, easily get one on your mobile phone if you're typing in Spanish on your mobile phone. It's not hard to get an ñ symbol. So people use them in text messages also. It's not like some unreasonable thing. The ñ is a fact of life over here in Spain. And perhaps you have seen the hilarious internet meme, Mi papa tiene 40 años and mi papá tiene 40 años. These are completely different things. Let's start with the word año, because año is year. Yo tengo 42 años. We could say, I am 42 years old. Tengo 42 años. El año es 2025. This year is 2025. El año es 2025. Be careful with this one because ano, with the regular N, not the ñ, is anus. It's your butthole, if you prefer. So make sure you use the right letter, the ñ. Back in the day when people would type emails, if somebody was traveling and they were in a country that the computers didn't have an ñ, they would write ANYO for año, just to avoid, using the word ano in an email. They would put año like that, and they would, apologize for the lack of tildes. A lot of these other words are also very common, and we use them all the time. Mañana. Mañana is tomorrow. Mañana is also la mañana, which is the morning. Mañana por la mañana is tomorrow morning. Nos vemos. Mañana por la mañana. I'll see you tomorrow morning. We have puño. Puño is fist. Puño. Simple enough. We have buñuelo. I just saw this on a list of words with ñ as cream puff. At this time of year, we are in Lent, sort of before Holy Week. Buñuelos are pretty common. So if you go to a bakery around this time of year, you will find buñuelos. I'm sure there's a religious reason. But yeah, it's like a little, cream-filled bread thing. Buñuelo. Cream puff. Cañón. Cañón is canyon. It's also cannon, I believe. Both the weapon and the geographical feature. Cañón. Cañón also has the accented O. The accented O. I mean, the accents on vowels are another thing we can talk about someday, because, a lot of important words have an accent on the vowel, and sometimes they change meaning. Sometimes, the accent changes the meaning from one thing to another, so it's worth, taking the accents seriously. Most of these ñ words, by the way, do not have an equivalent word with a regular N, so there's not really a danger of the meaning changing, with the notable exception of año and ano, which I talked about earlier. Another word that we could talk about, dañar. Dañar is to harm, possibly to hurt. The word daño, the noun daño, is harm or or physical injury, let's say. The expression me hecho daño is I hurt myself. Me he hecho daño. Me he hecho daño. In reality, you pronounce it, faster than that. Me hecho daño. ¿Te has hecho daño? Did you hurt yourself? Sí, me he hecho daño. We have enseñar, which is to teach or to show, I guess, but often it is to teach. Enseñar. The noun there is enseñanza, which is teaching. Enseñar, enseñanza. In the case of a verb like enseñar, you've got all of the conjugations. So I could say, yo enseñaba inglés durante 10 años. I taught English for 10 years. That's a sort of, past habitual situation, enseñaba, but we've got lots of other forms for that verb. Diseñar. Diseñar is to design. The noun is diseño. The person who designs things is a diseñador. So you could have un diseñador web, un diseñador gráfico, a web designer, graphic designer. We have bañar. Bañar is to bathe. If you're showering, you would probably use ducharse. Bañar, bañarse. Maybe if you go to the beach and you're getting in the water, that would be bañarse. Spanish people use bañarse for getting in the water at the beach, not necessarily swimming, but kind of just getting in the water. They're not washing themselves, but they are bañándose. From that, we have a lot more words. We're going to learn a lot of vocabulary here. Bañera is bathtub. La bañera. Voy a llenar la bañera. I'm going to fill the bathtub. We have bañador. Bañador is a swimsuit. Bañador. We also have el baño. You probably have heard the expression, ¿Dónde está el baño? ¿Dónde está el baño? Which is, where's the bathroom? Baño. ¿Dónde está el baño? Everybody says, ¿Dónde está el baño? Technically, if we're talking about something with a toilet but not a shower, it is el servicio over here in Spain. ¿Dónde está el servicio? Baño technically implies a shower and stuff like that. But if you're in a restaurant and you say, ¿Dónde está el baño? Everybody will understand what you're talking about, so don't worry. But yeah, un servicio, I think we might in the US call it a half bath. It's just a sink and a toilet without a, full shower or bathtub. So, el baño. We have soñar. Soñar, we talked last time about soñar, and we talked about the expression me suena, which is from the verb sonar. Sonar is to sound, but soñar is to dream. In this case, we do have a difference of meaning if you add the ñ or not. So, soñar, to dream. Sueño is a dream. Tengo sueño, as I mentioned last time, is to be sleepy. Tengo sueño. I am sleepy. ¿Tienes sueño? Are you sleepy? Etc. You have to conjugate the verb tener there. But sueño is the feeling of sleepiness. Señal can be a couple of different things. It can be a sign, una señal de tráfico, a traffic sign. It could also be like a deposit. Imagine I want to rent a bicycle somewhere. Tienes que dejar una señal de 50 euros. You need to leave a deposit of 50 euros to rent the bike. Tienes que dejar una señal de 50 euros. In that case, it's just an amount of money you pay and you'll get back later. Una señal. It means you're serious. It's a sign that you're serious. That is señal. I guess señalar is to indicate something as a verb. Cariño is like dear or darling. It's something you could call your significant other. Cariño, me traes un vaso de agua? Darling, could you bring me a glass of water? Leña. Leña is firewood. If you're talking about wood for building something, it's madera. Usually leña is, for burning. You sometimes see like a bakery that says horno a leña. Maybe not a bakery, a pizza oven. Horno a leña, which just means that they're making like wood-fired pizza, I think is what you would call it in English. Horno is oven and leña is firewood. Reseña is a review, like on Amazon. You go to Amazon and you can look at the reseñas for something you want to buy. Una reseña. So you could have a sentence, ¿Quieres dejar una reseña? Would you like to leave a review? Riñón is kidney. You don't probably talk about your kidneys all that much, unless you do. Riñón. You can, buy sheep kidneys sometimes at a butcher. In that case, you'll also need to use the word riñón. There's also a word in the US, we call it a fanny pack. In the UK, fanny sounds like something different. In Spanish, it is a riñonera. Riñonera, it's a little bag that kind of goes around your waist and over your kidneys is what I understand for riñonera, that the position of this thing is approximately where your kidneys are. Una riñonera. Uña is fingernail. Uña, or toenail, I guess. Fingernail, toenail. In Spanish, they say dedos for your fingers and dedos de los pies for your toes. This apparently happens in a lot of languages. They don't have a specific word for toes. They just call them fingers of the feet, which sounds pretty silly in English, but that's the way they do it in Spanish. Uñas are, your nails on your fingers or on your toes. If you're talking about a nail, like for construction, that is a clavo, un clavo. The word viña, or viña, I guess, would be a slightly better pronunciation, is a grapevine, viña. Let's talk about a few words that refer to people. The words that refer to people could be masculine or feminine, depending on the person. Compañero or compañera. In Spanish, sometimes if they're writing, they will write compañero, compañera with like a O/A at the end, or sometimes they use the @ sign, like in an email, because it looks kind of like an O and an A, and this is sort of gender neutral. There are other ways of achieving some degree of gender neutrality in Spanish, if you're into that kind of thing. Compañero or compañera is, in any case, a workmate, or compañero de piso is a flatmate. It's, someone you do something with. Maybe it's comrade in a certain sense. These days, in the US, nobody uses comrade except communists. But in Spanish, compañero de piso, compañero de trabajo would be a workmate. It's a common sort of word. Los compañeros del gimnasio, the people who are at the gym. The other guys at the gym is what I would say. Los compañeros del gimnasio. Cuñado is brother-in-law. Cuñada is sister-in-law. Somebody who marries your brother or sister. Cuñado or cuñada. Dueño is the owner of something. El dueño del piso is the owner of the flat. For example, if you're, renting, el dueño is the landlord. Landlord sounds very feudal to me. Dueño sounds a little bit less so. Terrateniente is maybe the equivalent of landlord in Spanish. Terrateniente is a landowner, landholder. You wouldn't use that for somebody who owns a flat in the city, though. Niño or niña for talking about children. Niño is boy, niña is girl. So you could talk about niños, you could talk about niñas, boys and girls. If you have children personally, they are tus hijos, hijo or hija, or, son or daughter, I guess. But yeah, niños could be children in general, not yours necessarily. And as usual, if we're talking about people in general of both genders, we would use the masculine. Niños, usually, is what we would say. Los niños están jugando. We could be talking about a group of boys, or we could be talking about children in general. Señor and señora. Señor is, sir. Señora is madam, I guess. It's just respectful titles. Señor and señora. Señorita, I guess, is a younger woman, and that's also with the ñ. Señor, señora, señorita. Let's finish with a couple of words that begin with the ñ. This is not common at all. I think there are, mostly words that come from Central America or South America, not common here in Spain. But there are like two words that I know that are starting with the ñ. Ñora is a type of chili pepper. It's like a red chili that's not super spicy. You can get ñoras. I think the spicy chorizo might have ñora in it. And you can also get like a jar of ñora paste to add to different dishes. So that's just sort of chili pepper. And there's also ñoña or ñoño. This refers to somebody who's like moody or sentimental or kind of feeling whiny or whatever. I remember I was dating this girl, long time ago who said, "Hoy me siento ñoña." And I like went and looked in my dictionary to figure this out. She was, pouting about something and, that's ñoño or ñoña. That one actually has two ñes, which is also not common at all. So I hope you enjoyed that. España se escribe con ñ is what you need to remember today. There's also the issue of año and ano, which is very important. And, mostly, like I said, these don't have an equivalent. And so there's no danger of confusing people if you don't use the ñ, but it's still, much better to spell and to pronounce things correctly. So, hope you're having a great day wherever you are. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I'll be back soon with much more.